I'm going to show you how to make watering capsules. I've been trying to find somebody who would make olas, but it doesn't seem like anyone can make them very cost effectively or is interested in producing enough that it is more cost effective. So I've been using this as a technique, and we will have these guys for sale at our market sales, or if you wanted to stop by the nursery. And it's a neat way to go ahead and use what we already have. I ordered these really cool funnels off of Amazon, but you could also ideally use something that isn't going to degrade in the sun, but these should last for quite a few years regardless. And then you also need some caulking. Ideally, you get something as waterproof and flexible as you possibly can, but you're not going to see it. And then water is for when you're putting the caulking on, so that it's easier to smooth it. So, and then you also need, you can use any kind of tape, but painter's tape is nice to hold everything together until it's dry. So first I'm going to go around the rim of this, the bottom part of the water capsule with some caulking, and really try and get pretty close to the outside edge. And of course you need to make sure that these match up pretty well. They're pretty inexpensive at the store. You can get them at like Home Depot or wherever, and make sure that the bead is, fairly even all the way around. Although when you do this part, it's pretty forgiving. It takes a little bit of time to go ahead and get this smoothed out. So really be patient with yourself when you're working your way around the edge. And on this one, I put the bead a little too close to the inside rim, so it should have been a little bit further out, and it would have made it a lot easier. But see, I'm going to go ahead and dip my finger in the water to make it so that it's nice and smooth. And it fills all the gaps, because it wouldn't be a huge deal if there was a small leak, but you want to not leave holes. And then go ahead and tape it so that it doesn't shift around on you. You could wait until this part dries to do the top part so that you don't have to worry about it shifting as much. But if you're impatient like me, you can just go ahead and do it all at once and let it dry together. And then you can flip it upside down without having to worry about it shifting, because it would be really, really easy to accidentally shift that. So you don't need to use the funnel. You could go ahead and do an underground watering system with these all connected together. I'm going to be using these for people to plant next to individual plants. So I went ahead and modified these funnels because they didn't need the little hanging part, and then the hole was just a little too small on the smaller watering capsules, and I had to put a little slit in it so that I could push it down in there enough to put caulking around it. I would recommend sanding around the base of the funnel just to give it a little more texture for the caulking to grab onto, so it's less likely to come out. It's not a huge deal as long as the funnel is still down in there. If it's a little bit, if it comes a little bit loose, or if there's little holes, as long as it's filling the capsule with water, that's the important thing. You want it to be reasonably smooth so that it doesn't shift on you. And you could probably also use, some sort of glue for this part, but I like being consistent with what we're using. And that is it. So we'll have a couple different sizes of these, and we might do some way bigger ones too if people are interested in those. And you can just go ahead and bury these next to your new plants or trees. And then you have a way to water them when you're either not around, or if you want to make sure that they're getting continual water. This is a really great way to do that, and make sure that they're getting deep water, which is really important here. And so you'll want to go ahead, and when you bury this, you'll want to go ahead and make sure that it's buried so that there's probably at least half an inch of soil over the top of it so that it's not wicking water out into the atmosphere, that it's staying underground where you want it. And that's it. Makes your watering job way easier, and it's something that people have been doing in this part of the world for thousands of years.